really hate this map though. This map fucking blows.
Dude, I just killed 3 people with 1 burst of my super. 1 was in fucking Sunbreaker.
Dude, I literally saw him like play this map in their like beta test or whatever. I was like, I literally just knew it was gonna suck.
Oh my god! What did I just do? Come on! Oh boy, wasn't that neat. But at the same time, is there anybody else yelling at the screen? Why the hell is that even possible? Because that's how I feel about this entire subclass. And that is the Nova Warp section of the Voidwalker subclass. Which I think just might be the most overpowered PvP class in Destiny history. So let me build up the argument for that claim, starting off with this nonsensical super, which also might be the best super in Destiny history, although the original Taken King Sunbreaker may have an issue with me saying that. So first off, the damage output of this super is straight silly. When you charge your supernova, you have enough damage to one-hit kill, I'm quite certain, every other super in the game. I've definitely done it to full health Sunbreakers, Night Stalkers, Arcstriders, and other Nova Warps. And by the way, that was all in a single night of playing with this subclass. I've only played with it for 1 night. And in that night, I had instances of killing 7 people with my super, as you saw in that intro clip. I killed 6 people with my super, had multiple times killing 4 or 5 people, and I did it with ease and inexperience with the super. Now this is because the super lasts incredibly long, and it also has great movement with its blink ability. And to talk about the blink a little bit, it allows you to limit your damage taken and also dodge other supers that could potentially shut you down. And to go along with your fantastic mobility that you have in your super, you also have great range when you charge up your Nova, so that you can kill people from extremely far and sometimes on opposite sides of walls from you. And when you kill someone, you get an instant burst of health, making it even more difficult for your next victim to resist you. And finally, let us not forget that you already have more than a 50% damage reduction while you're in your super. So with all those components that I've just described, I hope you understand how truly powerful this super is. There's just about no stopping someone who is somewhat practiced with it, and if you're going up against a really skilled player, if you even try to Blade Barrage them or Striker them, then they're just going to be able to blink away and even evade those deaths. And so this super that doesn't require any type of aim but just a somewhat close proximity to your enemies is unbelievably lethal and quite unstoppable, making it maybe the best super that Destiny has ever seen. Alright, so the class has a stellar super, so what? Does it have anything else that makes it any decent? Hell yeah it does! Guess what? It has the only one-hit kill grenade in the entire game. If you throw on Scatter Grenade and hold R1 for, I don't know, like half a second to a second, you can toss that thing out and one-hit kill people that you see with complete ease. And yet again, this is also actually going to regain some of your health, and it's also going to give you energy for all of your other overpowered abilities, including your Healing Rift and your melee. So they've got certainly a contender for the best grenade in the game. It's at least the only one that's going to be able to one-hit kill people. And it's amazing to use right now because it's fantastic at shutting down the ever-present shotgun warriors in the Crucible. Alright, so they have the best super in the game, they maybe have the best grenade in the game. What about the melee? What's that thing like? Well folks, the base damage on this one is 165, which makes it, outside of shoulder charge, which is kind of an exception, the melee that does the most damage in the entire game. And not only does it do 165 damage each time you hit someone, I have actually been one-hit by this thing about 4 times. Usually it's when you're around a wall, because the melee actually makes you fly backwards and then will explode. And a lot of the times it'll just kind of bug out and give you a one-hit kill. Like I said, it's happened to me about 3 or 4 times, and in my night playing for like 3 hours, I actually did it to someone, which you can see right here. And just for a little bit of perspective, a single precision throw knife does 131 on a headshot. compared to normal melee with insane aim assist that does 165. And if you want to talk about the blade barrage node, those things do like 45 damage on a headshot per knife, and you throw 3 knives, and it's pretty damn difficult to land 3 knives. And it's going to do a total of less than 150 damage. So where they came up with the 165 for this melee just completely baffles me. But anyway, they have a one-hit kill grenade, they have a melee that one-hit kills a decent amount, and they have the best super in the game. Starting to sound a little broken yet? And to support my argument about how it's the most overpowered subclass maybe in Destiny history, I want to emphasize the one-hit kill stuff because this was a bit more common in Destiny 1. You'd see more one-hit kill abilities. Like there used to be fusion grenades all across the board with one-hit kill. Same with trip mines used to be a one-hit kill. So the one-hit kill phenomena is a bit more rare here in Destiny 2, and the Voidwalker has been gifted a whole lot of it. And it's pretty confusing that they've been given so much damage in this class and so much power, because that's not what Warlocks are really supposed to be gaining. That's not what's attributed with their class. That's more of a Titan attribute. And then Warlocks are kind of set up with the best scenario and everything else outside of really the jump. Because when it comes to their class ability, the Healing Rift is probably the most consistently advantageous ability to use. Compared to the dodges and the walls, it really gives you an advantage in every gunfight you're going to be getting into, and it does last quite long. So they're set up really nicely in that regard. And then when it comes to recovery, resilience, and mobility, they kind of get the best of the trio there as well, as they typically have the most recovery, which is extremely valuable in Destiny. And they also get a fair amount of resilience and just don't have much mobility, which doesn't matter a whole lot and does not hurt them very much at all. So this class has kind of been given the best of every single aspect of your loadout in Destiny, excluding the jumps, which Warlocks will never really live up to. But this is also the class that does have Blink naturally, if that's something that you like, and that's kind of another little bump that this class has over everything else. So to recap, they've got the best of the 3 perks with recovery. They have probably the best class ability. I'd say that one's a bit up for debate. They've got the most damage for a common melee in the game, and it's capable of one-hitting. They have maybe the best grenade, or at least the grenade that does the most damage in the game, and they have the best super in the game. So yeah, I would confidently call this the best class in the game right now, and I'd say maybe the best class in Destiny history in its current form. What I would do to make this a bit more balanced, I would kind of reduce the damage on just about everything. Take down the melee damage maybe down to like 140 or 130. The reintroduction of one-hit kill grenades into Destiny 2 is completely unwelcome in my eyes, and I think that definitely needs to go. I'd probably put it at about 170 damage, maybe 180, or just rework that so that's not their central ability with their grenade. And then as far as the super, I'd say you really need to reduce the amount of time you have it for. It's pretty incredible how long it lasts. You don't have to be very precise in your movements, and you can still get like 4 or 5 kills no problem. Also, I'd say it needs a bit of a reduction in the damage radius that it has with its blast, as well as the actual amount of damage it does in that blast, so it doesn't one-hit like every super in the game. And with those 2 things, then it'll feel a bit more balanced. And then finally, this is kind of a thing for every super in the game just about, but I really don't think any super should be given more than 50% damage reduction in like any scenario, except for maybe the Striker Titan or Blade Barrage or a classical Nova Bomb. But the roaming supers, I think that makes them far too powerful. So that's not really a nerf for Nova Warp specifically, but for roaming supers across the board. Anyway, that's everything I have to say about this class. It's genuinely super easy to use and extremely rewarding in the Crucible right now, and I think something's definitely got to be done about it quite soon. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and see you later.